Um. Anyway, Big Mike. We swapped jerseys. If you're like, wait, what the fuck? We're in the same jersey and I swapped them.
They're both mine.
And we're in the same camera angle. What's going on? Hey, what are these guys doing? What are these guys up to?
We're having fun.
We're just having fun.
Being some goofs.
We had a good NBA episode, kind of just off the dome. We didn't really prep it much. I liked it though. It was a good ball discussion.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of basketball. So
I've been watching a lot of basketball too.
I know. I didn't say you weren't.
No, I'm playing.
Chill out, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to LeftBench. And boy, do we have an episode for you. LeftBench 2025 NFL Mock Draft 2.0. That's a big line for me to remember. 2.0.
Number 2.
Difference between this one and the last, we're incorporating trades. Everyone's favorite thing for mock drafts. Big Mike, before we get into it, anything you want to say to the people?
Yeah, actually, can I do this before or after?
Yeah, do it before, because you did
okay.
want to talk about it.
Okay, yeah. I didn't mention it in the last recording that we did like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But Alex Ovechkin, congratulations on the, even though you're not going to see this shit, the all-time goals record was broken in the same amount of games that it was set in. It was like 800 no, that's not 800. It was like a lot of, it was like 1,000 something, but he set it. It's 895 goals, I think, now is the record. If I'm wrong, you can just disregard everything I've ever said. 895th, yes. Okay. Yeah, he broke the record against my Islanders, so that was cool. I forgot I wasn't awake when it fucking happened, but yeah. So that happened. I wanted to mention that before we started here.
Shout out hockey.
Shout out hockey, even though I've probably watched maybe 3 games, even though like I know
This season or total in life?
No, this season.
I want to get into hockey. That might be a thing. When we move in together, we should get into hockey together. So
I was with it.
I feel like that would be an edge if we covered hockey.
See, it's harder for me because I'm like, when the Islanders suck, I just tune the fuck out.
Yeah. Well, I need
everything.
To find a team. I think I chose the Blues, the St. Louis Blues. I think that was my team I chose.
It's fair.
Yeah.
They won the championship like 4 years ago.
They did?
5. I think it was 19.
Nice.
6 years ago, whatever. But yeah.
All right.
There's a team in Ohio. Blue Jackets.
Yeah, but I don't like their jerseys.
I guess that fucking works.
That's my.
That sounds like a 4-year-old.
I didn't like their jerseys.
I like their jerseys.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna choose the Ohio team because there's no Indiana team. If there was an Indiana team, because I'll ride or die for Indiana. If there's an Indiana team, I would have done an Indiana team. But
they have like a minor league team, but
yeah. Isn't it the Fuel?
Yeah,
that's a great name. But
you got it. That's hockey.
Yeah, I just remember when they did that. I was like, that's a cool ass name.
It is cool.
But
it
no, was it Blue Jackets, right?
Yes.
I hate their jerseys. I don't like them.
Why?
I don't know.
They're just red, white, and blue.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm not. Yeah, hot take. I might put this in one of the monologues in the future. Red, white, and blue is such a lazy jersey.
I understand that.
Because it's our country, all that shit. But I'm fine with the Giants, I guess. But the Wizards, how they did that. I get it. You're in Washington. Stop.
Even the Commanders now don't use that. They never use that color. What?
Yeah, but the Wizards use it. That's lame.
The Wizards, the Capitals, the Nationals, all 3.
I hate. And then it's just I get it. Capitals, Nationals, America. It's a lazy jersey, and it also rarely looks good. In my
a lot
opinion.
of teams don't do it right, or just don't do it well.
I think it's just
even the Nationals. They had these City
sucks.
Connect jerseys in the MLB, and they had a really cool the cherry blossom is pink. Dude, it's the jerseys were nice, but they kind of
I'm anti Proud Boy jerseys. That's my thing now.
You could just say anti Proud Boy and that worked too.
I'm playing. Yeah, so just that's a take of mine, and
okay.
I'll build on that in a monologue in the future.
Works. Okay.
All right, Big Mike.
We swapped orders.
Orders. I am now the odds, and Mike is the evens.
Yes.
And the Titans are on the clock. But wait! I have a trade proposal.
Oh, first pick. Okay.
So, I want to get in my reasoning, Mike.
And we're going to converse before we do these. We're not just going to
rip
off trades.
With the trades, it's kind of like a GM-coach relationship. We wanted to
Okay. Also, if you trade with a team that's mine, are we doing, you want to keep the team or keep the slot?
Keep the slot.
Keep the slot?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we won't be too
Say the
weird.
Giants picked up to. Say the Titans traded up to 1 for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
You'd keep the Titans then, right? That's what you mean?
I would keep the. We'll just keep the evens odds. We'll just keep the.
Okay, that's what I'm checking.
Yeah, we'll keep that going.
Okay.
But,
we didn't discuss that before.
yeah,
I just want to make sure.
No, it's good that we did that. That's a little peek behind the curtain for everyone at home. And Mike, we can share this together.
Yeah, I was about to say.
We didn't get to peep it. We didn't have a dual peep at this. But I want to give my reasoning for this trade proposal.
Okay, go ahead. Well, you didn't give me the trade proposal.
So, well, I'm a preface why I'm doing this trade proposal and this trade proposal.
Okay.
The Titans recently talked about Cam Ward, and they said when you have an opportunity to take a franchise player, you don't want to pass up on that. That felt a little too on the nose to me, Mike. It feels it's just kind of like how people don't talk. I might be alone on this. It's just weird, okay? And I want to go back to that Myles Garrett interview of I'm confident enough.
I just watched that.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
That confidence does not come from Shedeur Sanders. I'm sorry. I like Shedeur Sanders. I think he'll be an above average or average quarterback. I don't think he's going to suck. But he's not the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick. That confidence comes from Cam Ward. Okay? Mm-hmm. Cam Ward, he is, he's the best quarterback in this draft, and he's worthy of a top 10 pick. I say last year's draft was a special draft, but let's go the year before or whatever. He would have been in the mix with, he'd probably be the Colts pick instead of Anthony Richardson that year. Probably. Maybe they're sold on the
definitely
Phillies,
more
but,
finished.
He was safer, It's just he'd be a top 10 pick in most drafts.
That would have meant Anthony Richardson would have been a Giant. Fuck.
Anyway.
Kidding.
I have this trade proposal, and I think this is what the Titans wanted the whole time. I think they've wanted out of the pick the whole time.
Okay.
The trade proposal. The Browns receive the first pick in the draft.
Okay.
The Titans receive the second pick in the draft, the 94th pick from the Browns, which is the Bills' third-round pick, and then a 2026 third-round pick. Mind you, when the Bears traded up for Mitchell Trubisky, it was 1 spot. And this is kind of a similar trade. The Bears really they traded 1 third-rounder. I think times are a little bit different, so I threw in an extra third-rounder. And I think the Titans truly don't want Cam Ward. I don't think they're ready to have Cam Ward. I don't think they're a quarterback away.
So what do they do with that second pick? Are you saying? I mean, we'll get there.
It's your choice.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think the Titans are interested in collecting top-end talent and then putting a quarterback in there. Big Mike, do you agree or disagree to this trade?
See, I would want a second. That's my problem. I don't know. 2/3. This is one of the thirds is next year's.
One of the thirds is next year's, and it's the Browns' third next year. So it could be high, know. And then this is the Bills' third. I thought this would no question be enough. I didn't even know that you.
I'm because I'm thinking second round pick.
Then I'd give a second round pick if that's
if there's a
demand.
Second,
okay.
Put it there.
Okay. I was just like,
if it's the Browns' second pick, yes.
I feel like you're being too.
To be honest, I'm just being. I don't know how they're. It's a new GM, so I'm kind of thinking he might want to put a good impression up and be like, hey, let me fucking.
Well, I think just getting a third. Yeah, look, they're saying that favors the Titans.
Well, duh. You have to favor the Titans if you're turning up to 1.
Yeah, you're right. I'm so dumb. Okay, now the Browns have the number 1 pick. That was actually fucking funny. Yeah, I'm my best.
You gotta need to do that.
Now that the Browns have the number 1 pick, Big Mike, I have the Browns selecting Cam Ward.
Yep, that was assumed.
I don't want to, go overanalyze this, but Cam Ward, I think you throw him in on that team, and obviously with the Deshaun Watson deal, they're the coach and the GM are living on borrowed time. I feel like Tennessee might be a little bit more room to suck one more year with new GM and the coach. Like,
And let's just be fair, they're not going to be good.
yeah, they're not going to be good regardless. I do think they're more than a quarterback away. Cleveland, they're in the playoffs the year before. You could talk them into being actually a quarterback away.
Yeah.
I think this would just be a great move for the Browns, giving up. I think it would just be 2/3. I think Titans would say yes to that.
Yeah,
and then if you're the Titans, you move back one spot. I think they want one of these two players anyway. I think that's what they truly want. I don't think they're really salivating over Cam Ward. I think if you collect 2 extra thirds and still get your guy, that's good business.
See, I only did the second round thing because I was like, I think I've heard shit about them. Like, really, like, I don't know how true this was, but it was like when the Giants were trying to trade up, which I know is an extra pick farther, but like they were really asking for like a lot, and I was like, I think it was like next year's first too. I was like,
I do think it was like that at one point, and I think that was when it was like, okay, Giants, and then I think everything kind of shook out to where like, okay, the Browns want this, and everything just kind of shook out. Like I thought the Raiders were going to trade up to 1 at one point, and then they got Geno, and then I thought the Jets would. No, they're not really players like that this year. I think the market's died down. I think moving back literally one spot, getting the exact same player you wanted, and this is all speculation. I have no idea. Maybe they do really want Cam Ward. All signs are pointing to that. I just feel like this is a little too on the nose.
A smoke screen.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot of smoke.
Yeah. Okay. So with this ideology, the second pick, I'm just gonna fucking jump right into it. Is
okay. Oh, okay. So
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Big Mike, give us the reasoning.
I just think I've said this multiple times. I think he's the best player in this draft. I understand the Abdul Carter hype. I get it.
Yeah.
The injury doesn't really scare me with him either, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to go even with that. But I just think Travis Hunter maybe even enlightens that fan base a little bit more than just like, getting the best player in this draft.
Yeah.
I think, you give the fans something to fucking care about.
I think this would be better than taking a quarterback for them.
See, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. And also, like, you do have someone that you can still maybe develop.
Yeah.
Will Levis has only played 2 years.
Yeah, I'm
not completely out on him.
I'm not completely out on him either. I do think he's bad, but like
I do think.
Yeah, but like I just think like the way my reasoning with the trade was like, okay, like you're probably more than a quarterback away. Let's get elite players. Like you have a really good 2 in Calvin Ridley. Maybe Will Levis can make a jump.
Step up, yeah.
Probably not, but like why not even why give up,
Especially with this draft class, like these quarterbacks aren't like, mind blowing. Like if this was last year's draft class, yes, I do this in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'd take Caleb Williams immediately. But like or even Daniels, like if you were in the top
or
3.
May or fucking
Knowing Bo Nix, probably him as well.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of this that was last year. You can't even go with this now because like Shedeur, I do like him, but like he's not the guy that like Caleb Williams or any of those guys are now. But yeah,
I think you've made the right choice. I think really it is for a team like the Titans, for a team like the Giants or the Patriots. It's a toss up for either player. Like it really is. Like, what do you prioritize more? I think if it's like say the Giants were at 2, I think they should choose Hunter as well.
That's
just because of their D line being so good.
See if that.
Yeah.
If this stayed the order, like the original order, Cam, well, without your logic, obviously.
Yeah.
Cam.
Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carter.
No, and I think Travis Hunter just like the Titans are a team that need hope and they need a little bit of everything, honestly. And you get a little bit of everything with Travis Hunter. Great player, exciting player for the team. Can be your receiver 1 and cornerback 1 on the Titans. That's for fucking sure. So yeah, I think that's a great pick. All right, Big Mike, the Giants on the clock. I have your New York Giants.
Yeah, we swapped so we could take each other's teams this time.
And so I'm not going to overthink this at all. I'm going to take Abdul Carter.
Okay.
I wouldn't overthink this. He is, in my opinion, probably the best player in this draft, if you want to go that way. His bend is ridiculous. I haven't talked about him too much just because I've been writing the Michael Williams propaganda so hard. But I mean, he's just a great player. You have Thibodeau is there, but like at this point, I would so rather take Abdul Carter. You have Brian Burns on an extension. Thibodeau just maybe, you have a Carter. You're saving so much money by getting Carter. He's a premium position that Myles Garrett just got $40 million a season for. I mean, you're saving money. You have at this point, I would say if you guys get Carter, the best defensive line in the NFL, in my opinion.
Now, do you trade Thibodeau?
No, I think you keep him. I think you have
After the 5th year?
I think you keep him after the 5th year. Why not? Maybe trade him. I don't know. I just trenches is you can never have enough. I really believe that. I truly believe you can never have enough.
Especially Kayvon's injury issues as well. And Burns has had a fair share of them.
Share of them as well.
Even Dex this year.
And then Carter has an injury, but it's just at the second most important position of football, let's have as many of those motherfuckers as possible. Yeah. Almost like the Falcons logic with quarterback last year. Let's have as many quarterbacks as possible.
Yeah.
Let's have as many as possible, and let's win. Let's start winning. All right, Big Mike, Patriots fans, if this is how it shakes. Oh, and I'm going to put, I read the comment, I'm going to put the draft board up on here.
We read the one comment that was. We appreciate your. I liked it on the.
Good job, Mike. But yeah, if you're a Patriots fan, not happy with how this board has shaken up, but
I'm trying to
adapt and overcome.
Oh my God, why is this?
You can do this.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. All right. I guess it's 7th pick. What the fuck?
4th pick.
Well, that kind of gives my shit away. The 4th pick. Will Campbell.
Will Campbell.
You need offensive line with this. You've got your franchise quarterback now. I was kind of going Mason Graham, Will Campbell here.
Yeah.
I can understand the Mason Graham pick as well. I mean, their defense is not the best. I mean, it's solid. There's a lot of young pieces on that team. But I think Will Campbell, me and you both agree on this. We do think he's a tackle. I don't care about the arm length or fucking anything, really. I think he's shown enough as a tackle in college in a tough conference,
Yeah.
So where
NFL talent.
Yeah, exactly. We see a lot of guys out of these SEC schools come out and be really good tackles. We also see Evan fucking Neal who.
Yeah.
But
that was a rare case, honestly.
Yeah. But I think you set up your quarterback with a guy that minimum you have 5 years with now is your franchise guy, hopefully, which I think he would be.
I couldn't agree more, and I texted you either this week or last week. I think we're really, really overthinking Will Campbell. And all the Patriots fans that are like, instead of taking Campbell, we should trade down. I disagree with that. I think Will Campbell is a franchise left tackle that is worthy of a premium pick. He would be the second best tackle in last year's class behind Joe Alt. His arms are short. That's about it. His tape's ridiculous. You throw him at left tackle, and if he doesn't work at left tackle, you throw him at right tackle. If he doesn't work, you have the best guard in the league. You have Quentin Nelson. It's just and your investment is in Drake May. It is the most important investment in your franchise. I do think I probably would take Carter or Hunter if they were here, but they're not. And I'm taking in my opinion, a franchise left tackle, and I'm on to the next pick. I think everyone's overthinking this. I think he would protect Drake May for years. I think he has a great football attitude. He's so fucking mean and everything. Just give me that guy on my team. I agree with you on that one, Big Mike. All right, so I have the Jags with the 5th pick in the draft. And a lot of people have Mason Graham here. And I have Jalen Walker going here with the 5th pick. And I want to hear. I really like Mason Graham. I want to say that. I don't think his arm length is a problem. I think he is literally he's like an animal in the middle. Jalen Walker is a scheme fit, and I don't like I like taking best player available, especially in the top 10. But Jalen Walker is also really fucking good. You have Trayvon Walker, who's fucking ridiculous. I just a specimen. I do think he's good. And then you have Josh Hines Allen. And then you have Trayvon Walker, who is a better edge than he is an off-ball linebacker, but can play off-ball linebacker. You can have him literally all around your.
You mean
defense.
Jalen, right? You said Trayvon again.
Oh, sorry, Jalen Walker.
Yeah.
That's gonna be hard for announcers, but he will be all around your defense. He's going to play because you can throw. Trayvon Walker steps inside sometimes. Hines Allen, you want him on the outside primarily, but Trayvon Walker is just kind of like you have two really versatile guys in both the Walkers now. One who can play off-ball backer, who's a serviceable off-ball backer. He's not an elite off-ball backer, but he's could be an elite edge. He has elite edge potential, and I wouldn't even say a good off-ball linebacker. And then when you have him playing off-ball linebacker, you have an absolute dog in Trayvon Walker on edge. And then you can scoot him inside. I'm salivating over the potential of this defense.
I like it. I mean, it's definitely like that'd be one of the more shocking ones to me because I do think, like, again, Mason Graham could be, generational defensive tackle. We haven't seen a lot of these guys come out and be like, top 5, 10 picks,
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, there's guys that have been worthy of it, but, like, we don't see that until after they get in the pros.
Yeah.
But, like, again, Jalen Walker, like you said, the versatility really helps, like, you have that in – you don't get that as much as you used to anymore. Like, there's not a lot of guys that can move, especially to the ability that he can, like, especially that conference, the SEC.
I mean, he's fast. He's just a motherfucker on the edge. Just coming. He's got good bend. I think he does have, like, all-pro edge potential, but the fact that he can also play off-ball backer, just, I just kind of like with the Giants on the Giants defensive line. It's just like, man, I want everyone all over the place. I want people that can't just play one position. That's what I think, with Jalen Walker.
Okay.
And then, Mike, you're on the clock. But wait! I have a trade to present to you.
Okay.
Big Mike. All right. And this one's a doozy.
Okay.
I'm proud of this one. I thought of this one at work. All right. So the Raiders were on the clock at pick 6.
Okay.
But there's a trade to propose. And the Las Vegas Raiders in this trade receive pick 21. George Pickens.
Oh, what the fuck?
In a 7th round pick to sweeten the deal. And the Steelers receive pick 6. Big Mike. In this scenario,
I know where you're going here.
the Raiders move back. You hate to miss out on elite cornerback or whatever, but you get a elite receiver, George Pickens, Omar Khan. I don't know if you saw that interview. They're like, so do you want to keep George Pickens? Like, we like George Pickens. He's a good guy. And that's it. Like, they're just like, okay. I think they want to get off George Pickens. I think that's kind of why they brought in DK Metcalf. I don't think they want to pay George Pickens. George Pickens, I think, is a number 1 receiver. I think the Raiders need a number 1 receiver. I think if there was a number 1,
he's better than Myers, yeah.
I think if there was a number 1 receiver worth taking at pick 6, they would. I don't think there is one this year.
There's not.
This way, the Raiders get that number 1 receiver and still stay in the first round. They don't spend that pick on a number 1 receiver. They don't get Tet here or whatever, like some people are projecting. They get a bona fide number 1 receiver and keep a first round pick. Mike, what do you think about this one?
Hold on, let me see on who's available.
Okay.
I'm like fully confident in this.
Okay.
I'm learning. Remember this.
No fear. I sprung this on you, so.
Yeah.
This is some real draft. This is
These
some
are
real
all-
war room shit.
These are all not discussed.
Yeah. This is war. I wanted the war room.
But you don't want.
Oh, dude, you'd be fighting me. You'd be holding me back from dragging up his name to the podium.
His name on the fucking card.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to tell that story. Did you hear about the Jerry Jones, Johnny Manziel thing? How Jerry Jones' son had to hold back Jerry Jones from drafting Johnny Manziel. Literally, was holding him back because he was trying to turn in the card, and Jerry Jones' son apparently held him back from doing it. Isn't that fucking hilarious?
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Accept it.
You accept it? Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's up.
I think my logic behind it is...
I know where the pick's going to now.
Yeah, no, my
This kind of fucks up my... I had one of my trades, but it's gone now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the draft, baby.
Yeah.
So, okay, and I'm going to have...
I'm going to throw my trade. I'm going to save my trade after this, though.
Got you. No, I want to hear it after this. Hold up. I'll edit this out. I'll actually edit this episode while I fucking... Because I got to fucking do all this fucking... Where the fuck... Okay, there we go. Las Vegas. Trade pick 6 to the...
Pitt.
Oh, there we go. And then I'm just gonna do it, until it's accepted because it doesn't really matter. Not enough. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. Oh fuck. It makes god damn it.
Just take him and just remember it.
Oh, we can do this because look, I can just do this and edit it. This will be it. Hold up. Too much. And just even out. Okay, there we go.
That works.
All right. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then real quick on my logic is the logic about that trade is if you're the Steelers, the only team you have to get ahead at this point is the Saints. I do think the Saints.
I believe the Jets actually.
You think the Jets? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sold on they're gonna keep Justin Fields.
I'm not either, but I do think they're kind of like with a gap year. I think. But I do think you have to get ahead of the Saints.
Yeah.
I think that's the logic behind the trade.
Yeah.
And then Mike.
I already clicked it. Shedeur Sanders is the pick at
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
Steelers trading up and taking Shedeur Sanders.
That was the intention. See, now I'm gonna say what my trade was. I was saying I was thinking the Steelers would stay where they are.
Okay.
I was thinking the Jets either just probably go non-quarterback there, so they take whoever.
That's what I think.
And then the Giants actually trade back up.
Really? Back into the first round?
Yeah,
Huge
but not as high as this.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Because there's not a lot of teams that need quarterbacks here.
Mm-hmm.
They trade back to, I think it was... I didn't even write my shit down. It's like mid-first round, like 16 or some shit like that. They trade back into the first round with Shedeur.
Okay. Where was the pick? Do you remember? Because I'm very interested now. Because I was toying around a lot here with someone trading back up.
Steelers pick?
Yeah.
I think it was around here.
I
forget which
You
one.
just leapfrog the Steelers?
Yeah,
Okay.
leapfrog the Steelers, you take Shedeur.
Because
in my logic also was that you ended up with Carter and Shedeur.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of talk with this now, even though it's probably there's a 1% chance it's happening. But
it's a lot to pull off. You have to really pull.
This would be also with the luck of the draws that Carter or Cam are the first two picks.
Okay.
So
yeah.
But obviously this isn't how it's gonna go. But maybe who fucking knows? Yeah. But
so my thing is, and I just want to say my stance on this the Shedeur thing. Shedeur. So I think a lot of people have said this. Around picks 12 through like 30, it's just kind of like a mesh of like, like they're not elite after that. There's like a top 10 of elite talent, and I would not take Shedeur in the top 12, but the Saints might. And I don't think Shadeur's a top 10 talent here, but I think you just have to at this point. If you're the Steelers, you're backed into a corner.
You don't know what Aaron Rodgers is doing.
Even if they do get Aaron Rodgers, they've been a quarterback away for years.
He's also 41, yeah.
You trade George Pickens.
Maybe take a receiver that's a steal with that pick, that extra pick.
In the second round. Like, it's just like... It's just... I think it works for the Raiders a lot, and then just for the Steelers, just like, you get a guy who I think will be average or above average. I mean, how long have we been like, damn, the Steelers just need an average or above average quarterback? I think Shadeur's that. I think Tomlin, I think Shedeur has a good head on his shoulders, honestly. And I think Tomlin would like Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, enough of that. I'll have to cut that down a little bit, but I'll edit this one through the week. I'm on the board with the New York Jets. And then I completely agree. I just don't think they would take quarterback at all. I don't think there should Shedeur Sanders risk.
I think this is a war.
And he's not here.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to play with something here, but I won't. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna have. I think they're gonna stick and pick Armand Mimbu. I like Mimbu a lot. I have been a Josh Simmons guy I think he just has franchise tackle ceiling. But I think Mimbu has right tackle ceiling.
I also think he's safer with the injury.
I think he's safer, and I think he is more versatile. And I think that's kind of like the Jets thing. You have Fashanu, who I think has franchise tackle potential, and had a pretty good season this year. He's it's just kind of like got. Oh, thank you. Tall ass. All right, tall ass.
All 5'7", I think.
Tall ass. Anyway, I don't know if that picked up, but I chose Armand Mimbu for the Jets, and then fucking.
Well, it's on the audio.
oh yeah, you're right. But yeah, I think he can play anywhere on the line. That's really why I wanted the Colts to get him. Is just like, okay, like he you can throw him at guard. He would be a great guard to start off his career, and then you throw him out at tackle. But I just think if I'm the Jets, I think the Jets are just kind of like, we have some elite players. We have a good defense. Let's grab offensive line, so then when we do throw a quarterback in this, he's not running for his life.
Yeah, I understand that pick. It's really kind of like I said earlier, it's the more safe pick. I do think Josh Simmons has the higher ceiling, but Membu again isn't injured, or isn't coming off an injury at least. So I think this is the safe pick. Also, I don't really see them going like a defensive route or anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, all right. Carolina's on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's fallen too far, but
Yeah.
here they are. They need defense. They need defense. I'm taking Mason Graham here. I think he's BPA here.
Yes.
Maybe besides GT, I think GT's better.
Yeah, but it wouldn't make any
Value
sense for the
pick.
Panthers
Value pick
also.
is what I'm saying.
Like they have what is it?
Hubbard. Yeah.
Hubbard, and they signed Dowdle, and they drafted that. They just have so many running backs.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it'd be weird.
But yeah, I think Mason Graham is like a game-changing defensive tackle, especially for them. They're not good. I mean, it's not going to really – it's not going to do much because, their defense was statistically the worst in the league.
But him next to Derek Brown.
Yeah.
You go from literally the weakest in the league to, you're top
You've got
15 to start off.
You're a defensive tackle.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
I do see the logic of, a Will Johnson here because I do think they need outside help on the corners and DBs and all that, but – I think Mason Graham's BPA here.
Yeah, I think,
also not coming off an injury like Will Johnson is. So
I think you take a blue chipper. I love Will Johnson. I don't think he's a blue chipper like Mason Graham. Mason Graham. This is best case scenario for Panthers, and the board could very well shake out like this. I've seen him fall to the Panthers sometimes.
Yeah.
If I don't count on this if you're a Panthers fan, but I think this could happen. And you're just, you signed some defensive. They wanted Milton Williams, didn't get Milton Williams. You signed some defensive tackles in free agency. I don't think, I don't think they signed one that would prevent them from picking Mason Graham. So yeah, I stick and pick at Mason Graham. That's perfect. A 10 out of 10 scenario for them. That's a BPA. I have the New Orleans Saints. And I think this is such an interesting, they are no idea. I think they're liable to take a quarterback. I have no fucking idea what.
They are in let's get somebody cheap situation.
Yeah.
At all costs right now.
Actually,
at no cost.
We had him taking Will Campbell last draft, and I think that was best scenario. And I do feel like there's a
I have an idea.
There's a chance. Tell me your idea after I make the pick.
Yes,
because I do want to hear it. There is a chance that they take O-line. I don't think here there's someone worth it. So I'm going to. I think they need a cornerback, but I also think they need an edge.
They need a lot. They need fucking offense too.
I would take Mykel Williams here, who, like I said, I'm very high on him. I think I had him going to the Panthers last draft. I'm pounding the table for Mykel Williams. I think he has unseen potential. All the shit that we talked about with Trayvon Walker, I think we're doing it. I think we need to do it again with Mykel Williams, and I think I bet on tools. And one thing I want to do with this mock draft is also I was always like, oh, Shamar Stewart, safe pick, blah blah, safe pick, because there's a floor. Scared money don't make money. That's true. And the Saints also are a team that they can also afford to not be scared because there's just nothing in the future. So
There's nothing to lose.
yeah, there's nothing to lose. He's kind of like what we thought Chase Young would be, all this stuff. But yeah, I think you just stick and pick. You stick and pick this motherfucker.
See, it wasn't like a trade idea. It was just Tyler Warren. I think Tyler Warren's
I think Tyler Warren's here. I think if he was like the Sean Payton Saints, all that shit, like this, so like I thought about it. I looked at it and thought about it. I just think Mykal Williams, the potential of Mykal Williams, who I think is like he could be an all-world defensive to end.
Yeah.
An edge rusher. I think the Saints just stick and pick that.
All
right, Big Mike, you're on the board with the most exciting pick.
I have the Bears, and they have some things to upgrade. They've upgraded some of their like weaker spots last year with like the offensive line and free agency and shit. So,
okay.
Shocker.
Ashton
Jeanty is going to the Bears.
There we go.
That's
fun.
I don't think DeAndre Swift is like that guy. I don't think I understand there's like maybe some other needs here.
Yeah.
But I think Ashton Jeanty is like a game-changing running back.
Yes.
I think I saw like a ranking of like, prospects that have come out as running backs, and it was like I think he's like one of those top 5 in like the last like 20, 25 years. There's like Saquon, I think's one easily, and then like just some guys that like CMC and shit like that. I think Jeanty's up there with those guys. Like I think there's the potential, especially get him an offensive line, which they kind of addressed this year.
Yeah.
You already got the quarterback. There's some receivers outside that can take some attention off of him.
Yeah.
I think he is just really he's one of my favorite players in this draft.
Blue chipper. We said, blue chipper.
Blue chip and running back. I know this is like not the value pick. Like I know that's high for a running back.
Yeah.
But literally anything above 16 is like high apparently now. So
I'm 50-50. I'm just 50-50 on it. I love this pick. I remember last one I had him taking Josh Simmons and getting a tackle. I do. So if like I'm running the Bears, I'm just like I would like to trade out of the top 10 because if you within having that 10th pick, even if you just trade one back, you're paying him I think like top 5 salary for running backs right away, or like a top 10 salary, and like. I like just as a value play, I would like to trade like literally one spot back.
I can see that.
Yeah, and like I think that's a possibility, but also like if you're just like let's stick and pick and take Jeanty, I would not be like that's stupid
because I'd be
be scared that someone else like the 49er like like literally anything of that like anything. Yeah, I would be worried, and yeah, I would want to take him. So I think either both on offensive line. I also do think. That money play, Ben Johnson doesn't give a fuck. It's just like
he loves offense.
He loves offense, and he loves explosive playmakers. So yeah, give him Jeanty. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So I have pick 11, the San Francisco 49ers. So here I have.
Don't know what that was.
So Big Mike, I have. This is a really fun pick in my opinion, and you may not think it is because
No, it is. They were bad. They were hurt.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
With all the players they've lost, and I do think they need some guy desperately on the outside.
Okay.
But, and they need O-line.
But
I'm gonna go ahead and take Jahad Campbell here, and then let me give you the reasoning. Jahad Campbell is. I've watched linebackers recently. So that's why I'm so Jahad Campbell pilled now.
That sounds like I just watched football.
Yeah, I've watched football for the first time. Jahad Campbell is the best coverage linebacker.
Awful. I think he's the best awful.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about linebacker coverage.
Yes.
The best coverage linebacker since Fred Warner. Let's take Jahad Campbell and okay, we have a slight problem on the outside, but I think Ronaldo Green was a good stopgap for Charvarius Ward. There's a lot of safety depth that you can get in the second round. We had him taken in Malachi Start's last mock drive, which I don't hate. I don't think is unrealistic at all, but I think you can also get a safety in the second round.
See, I also think if they were... this is kind of my logic. We didn't do trades last time, but I think if they were to take Malachi Stark, it'd be a trade back.
Yeah, it'd be a trade back. But I think Jahad Campbell is just he struggles in the run game a tiny bit. So I do think but Fred Warner does not. So you put him next to an all-world linebacker. They both have ridiculous coverage skills. If you're Robert Saleh, you're just like, okay.
Is he back with them?
Yeah, he's back with them.
I completely forgot about that.
So we have like some slight defensive line issues, but how about this? Let's eliminate the entire middle of the field. You cannot pass in the middle of the field at all. Like, that is out of the equation. Fred Warner already was a problem, for that. But then you take Jahad Campbell. No one's the entire middle of the field is blocked off in the pass game.
Yeah.
So that's my logic that talked me out of taking a trench guy or a cornerback here.
I mean, I don't really have much to dispute it with this one. I think he's really, like I said, he's the best off-ball linebacker in this draft. I think, I could see other routes again, like you said, with like the outside help.
Yeah.
And Jahdae Barron would make sense a lot here.
Can play edge. He does not have anywhere near the Jalen Walker edge ability, but he can play it. He can be I think his ceiling is like a slightly above average edge rusher that you can play around with, which we know Saleh, he can. Yeah. He likes, he took Will McDonald that one year. I think his value is as a coverage backer and like being a leader of the defense along with Fred Warner. But also, if you just want to play, disguise him, have him and Nick Bosa to worry about on the edges. That would be fun as well.
Yeah, that would be.
Big right. Mike, you got the Dallas Cowboys.
Fucking disgusting. Just kidding.
Very interesting pick.
Yeah, I'm kind of like.
The board shook out. Pretty weird for them in this one.
So I'm kind of like.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Okay.
Plot twist.
This is a plot twist. that I don't hate at all. Big Mike.
I took Jahdae Barron here, Texas guy. I don't care about that really. But I think corner is a need. They don't really have two. I don't love either of those two in coverage. You know what I mean? Like they're not. I think DeRon Bland had like one of the worst like pass ratings, I guess.
Yeah,
he's not good.
He out for this? Isn't one of their corners out for the season? I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I don't love them in coverage. I think he as a coverage corner is actually much better than probably both of them. Maybe day one. I
think Diggs is close.
Diggs is good.
Diggs is probably
But I think I think you can maybe even get away with DeRon Bland. Like I'm not saying safety, but play him off.
And also match him with another versatile player in Jahdae Barron.
Yeah, you can also Jahdae Barron. You can move him. He's a good run defender, good tackler. He's versatile. You can move him a lot of places. He's played linebacker. He's played kind of safety a little bit as well. So you get a guy that you can just fucking toy around with, move him a lot, and he kind of takes some shit off of the other two of them in coverage specifically. So I think that's the pick. I understand Will Johnson, like you said, but again, I think he's. I don't know how much they care about the injuries. Yeah. Especially the injury he had, but who knows? I could see.
I'm surprised with what you did here, but I love what you did here. I think I like Will Johnson a tad bit better.
I do
but
too.
I think Jahdae Barron is. It's kind of like what flavor you want what flavor of cornerback. He plays slot, nickel, which used to be considered not like a premium position.
Yeah.
It's a premium position now, and people draft that as so. So he is a little bit more versatile than Johnson. He's not like a guy that you throw on an island and lock down. Like I think Johnson has the potential to.
Johnson, yeah.
But I think Barron probably does fit this defense more. I think that's what teams will consider when they choose between Johnson or Barron. It's just who fits better.
Yeah.
Because I do think they're so close.
Yeah.
All right, Big Mike. You left me with a really cool position with this Dolphins team.
Yeah.
Because this is like a much more fun board than we had for them last time. We had them taking Jahdae Barron last draft.
That's right.
And I think I know where I'm gonna go here. I just want to.
Also, we gotta speed these up a little bit. I thought we had 8. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, you're right. Okay, I got you.
Just saying.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Will Johnson here.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that threw my pick off.
Yeah, a guy that you just throw on an island. I think they need a cornerback. This is just a lockdown guy that you throw on an island. Injury concern, blah blah blah. I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah, and I love Will Johnson.
I do think he has immediate top 15 quarterback potential.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think his build is his like one-on-one, just being able with sticky corner skills. I think all of that can propel into like a. I'm not gonna say immediate, maybe not top 15, but like a top 25, 30 corner, kind of like the Pat Surtain build.
Yeah.
I love Pat Surtain's the best corner in the league. I think it's like maybe they get oh, Pat Surtain's really good. How about this?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but like who knows? But I like it. I do think that's a need for them as well.
And with the edge depth they have, having a lockdown guy that you can throw on an island as well, I think you're getting into some nice defensive territory. Lost Holland as well.
Yeah.
And you have the Colts on the board.
Lost Holland.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
wait! I have a trade, Big Mike.
Oh, God.
All right, Big Mike. This is interesting, and I want to see what you think about this, even if you decline it. So this is kind of like, this would be a blockbuster one.
Okay.
So, with the Colts on the clock at 14, there's a trade proposed, and the Colts get the 31st pick in the draft. Jaden is calling me. The 66th from the Titans. I don't know. The 66th from the Titans, and then a 2026 fifth rounder. And the Chiefs get the 14th pick in the draft. And my reasoning is, for the Chiefs, just trade up and quit fucking around with left tackle. And just get a guy. Big Mike, what do you think about this?
See, I'm going to decline this one.
You're going to decline it.
I'm going to decline this one.
I'm sending this to Jaden. But yeah, keep going.
I think, as the Colts, I think Chris Ballard's in a spot where he cannot really just be like playing around here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's in a save job mode, as you've
Okay.
said. You've said a few times. He needs to fucking
Yeah.
get it together. And I think the Chiefs, they have leeway to not. They can take risks. They can maybe trade with other teams, but like, I think because also I don't. Well, my pick here is not going to affect the Chiefs at all.
Tyler Warren. Okay.
I took Tyler Warren here,
Okay.
obviously. I mean, Travis Kelce's old, but I don't think that's where they go anyway.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we're gonna-
I think you can find guys like they retain Trey Brown. I think you said they need left tackle or tackle. They need a tackle. But I think you can find guys in the second round or even at that 31 spot or maybe even trade up, like I said,
Yeah.
to be able to manage a good. They're still going to be good. They're going to be at least probably a lock for the AFC Championship every fucking year. But yeah, I think Tyler Warren's the pick here with the Colts.
Okay.
I think you give whoever's playing quarterback, probably Anthony Richardson. I don't know where the starting he's starting there. Daniel Jones is my guy, but
Relax.
oh, I gotta give you shit about that.
Yeah, we'll do that on a later episode. My only thing is like, Ballard wants a tight end probably, or a lineman. I think if Mimbu here would be here, that's why I didn't want to like pull the trigger on this one. If Mimbu stayed here, I think you stick and pick.
I understand Josh Simmons.
Josh Simmons as well. I do think the Colts aren't in a position to wait on someone, which you might have to do for Josh Simmons. And I do think if you want a tight end, there's value later in the draft. Like you could take Colston Loveland at 31 probably. If I had to guess. Or, so my thing was like, okay, if they want a tight end, they can probably wait, get another third, which Ballard loves. But yeah, so like I completely get with you them declining it. I'll probably be banging that somewhere. My thing was I just don't see a team that would be willing to trade back probably in this area if I had to guess, because I just see a lot of teams that need maybe
Cheap
the
guys.
Cardinals, maybe the Seahawks. I think the Bengals would want to stick.
They're staying.
They want to stick and pick. Seahawks maybe if they're like, okay, we can get an interior lineman later or something like that. But okay, I'll see, and I'll pull that trade back out when I feel necessary. But yeah, I do think 14 is a high jump. But yeah, I agree with you. And then with the Falcons here, I think, like I said, so I love them taking an edge, and I think they need an edge. And I had a lot of people. I thought Shamar Stewart is the pick here, and I like Mike Green, I like James Pierce and everything. I don't think they should be waiting on anyone. I think Shamar Stewart has elite get off that just has some false steps, and he gets to the quarterback a lot, but also his floor is just like a good run defender. And the Falcons just need to improve their defense. So I'm gonna go Shamar Stewart here with the pick. you have a good floor on run defense and also a really high ceiling and could potentially be a really good pass rusher as well.
Yeah, I do like Shamar Stewart here. I mean, what the fuck's Giannis out? What the hell? Oh. Anyway.
What the hell?
Yeah. Sorry, I do like Shamar Stewart here. Like you said, I thought they should have addressed this last year, but edge is a big need. I can see Pierce here. I can see Green. I think Green's probably more weight on a little bit, especially if he wants to bulk up.
Yeah.
But I think Shamar Stewart's a good pick, especially like you said, if his floor is good run defender, that's pretty good. I mean, like it's not like that's a bad thing. I mean, like they're not, and their defense just needs fucking people. Like I just think that's where it's at here.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna get like Will Johnson or fucking Mason Graham here or anything. So like, I think this is the best. I think this is a good pick. I like this. I mean, I understand some other spots, but yeah, I like this one.
Just stop playing with something that you need to address.
All right, I got the Cardinals here.
Nah.
All right, I took Mike Green. I think Mike Green is probably the best. I think this is the best pick for them due to the fact that they just need defense. Like I said, like their fucking defense was not good. Again, their pass rush especially. I saw what was the other one? Kelvin Banks. I don't think he's really a value pick here. I think he falls a little bit.
I like him. I'm not.
Offensive tackle is a need for them.
Late first, early second, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he's not that guy. I think if you were to take him, you'd trade back here. But I think Mike Green is the best available fit here. Tet's here, obviously. He's not really a fit for them at the moment. You can't just have two guys that you just throw the ball up to. So, yeah, that's where
I like this. He has the second best bend in the class, in my opinion,
that's what I was...
behind Abdul Carter. I think it's a high potential pick. You also, I think, they need defensive players. They drafted Darius Robinson last year, who, had an okay season. And then they got Josh Sweat. They were just Gannon raises their floor. I think this is a high ceiling pick potentially.
Yeah, it is.
And I think it's fun. So I love what you did here, and I think that would be awesome. Develop him behind Sweat, across Sweat. I think he's a guy that probably needs a little bit of time.
He does need time.
So I like this. I think the board shakes out beautifully here for the Bengals.
You can take a receiver, right?
Yeah, I have them taking Marion Hampton. I'm playing. So I have the Bengals here taking Kenneth Grant, and they need anyone on defense. I know, but I think Kenneth Grant is an amazing fit here. Huge run-stopping defensive tackle. I like Walter Nolan. I don't think he fits what the Bengals need right away.
I think he's a little lower too.
He has a higher ceiling than Kenneth Grant, in my opinion. I think Kenneth Grant is, you throw him in, clog him in the middle on day one, and then you're stopping the run. I love Kenneth Grant. I think he'd go higher than this. I think this is his absolute floor in the draft. I just don't see him getting past the Bengals. He is a great player, a nasty fucking brawler in the middle.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think they just literally need defensive pieces. I mean, there's the potential of Trey Hendrickson not being there next year.
Yeah.
Maybe even this year. Who knows? I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
But I think Kenneth Grant is definitely a big piece that would really help get a jump start on rebuilding that defense a little bit. He's young, obviously, and I think what is fucking going on?
I gotta yeah.
But yeah, I think I like this one. I mean defense. Yeah, I think 1 through 7 defense.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, next pick. I've got the Seattle Seahawks. And here, it's kind of funny because they just kind of, got rid of a guy like him.
Let me go. Yep.
Receiver.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I was in between
Wait,
two.
say who you haven't taken, bro.
No.
Okay.
I was in between him also, but yeah. I had Ted McMillan here. I like Matthew. I prefer Matthew Golden. I do. But
me, no.
My issue is that Tet's route tree is not the greatest, and I'm a Giants fan. I've seen Jalen Hyatt just be wasted because he can't run routes. That could be the same thing, but I think he has more physical traits. That's why. But my logic here is that you traded your best receiver. Obviously, you got Cooper Kupp, which he's not this, and then he's also 30. We don't know what he's going to really give you now, and you lost Lockett as well. So now you sign Sam Darnold, who's got one real weapon that might not even play half the season. Who knows? So I think Ted McMillan gives you a guy that like he can grow. You know, this team's not. I wouldn't say they're like. They're just middle of the pack. They're not necessarily like in a win now situation, but like they can.
They'll probably be picking here next year if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they kind of will just be in the same spot next year. I don't think they'll be like. He doesn't move the needle to where like they're gonna win the division, especially if the 49ers and Rams are both healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like your process on this pick. I'm a Ibuka receiver 1 after Hunter here.
See, I'm Golden's receiver 1 after that.
I'm not a big Golden guy, but I like Tet here as well. I'm not this high on Tet. I have him like early second round in my opinion. I'm fairly low on Tet.
I think someone's gonna take
him.
But
I think I love his jump ball ability. And also I think if he has to go to any team, like the Seahawks is good because they have Smith and Jigba already, who had the numbers of a number 1 receiver. Yeah. Cooper Kupp, who has been there before as a number 1 receiver, and then you have Tet McMillan, who's just a jump ball guy. His floor is a jump ball guy, you know.
He's a cheaper, not as fast version of DK Metcalf.
Yeah, and like that's like I think that's good. I think I like them picking Tet McMillan here. I think that was a great pick. All right, so here this board has shook out pretty funky for the Buccaneers. Yeah, and
I can't read.
You know what? This is shaking out funky. I'm gonna pitch my Chiefs trade here. Then
remind me, refresh me.
It was 31st pick, and then the Chiefs give up the 66, a high third rounder, the first pick in the third round because of the Titans, and then a 5th round next year.
I'll do that.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, I get my Chiefs trade. While I do this, and I think the Buccaneers want an edge rusher. I think Mike Green is the guy that you wouldn't want to pass up on, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I have the Chiefs trade up, and my reason is I don't think there's anyone that you can't get that they would be kicking themselves that they didn't get for the positions that they want.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we have the Kansas City Chiefs picking, and I have them taking Josh Simmons. I did. So I am obviously high on Josh Simmons for reasons I said last episode, but I just accidentally took Gray Zabel. What in the fuck?
Yeah, you put the wrong card up.
What the fuck? Bro took the wrong card. We'll just remember that. Because I have Gray Zabel going to another team as well, so we'll just remember that. That's pretty fucking funny. Anyway, so I have them taking Josh Simmons, who has the left tackle ceiling, and also I think he's good. You might a team that can't afford to wait on a player as well, but also just quit fucking around with the tackle position. Get someone who I think can be a franchise left tackle, and then if you have him for 5 years after with the option, you have a cheap tackle on the Mahomes contract.
Yeah, I like this. I do think I like the trade up as well. I mean, like there's guys like maybe you could. I don't think they want to wait on him, but Kelvin Banks. I mean, like I don't think he's really that. I think he's a 2nd round pick in my eyes as well. But like I also see him maybe going here.
Yeah.
But I think. I was gonna say Gray Zabel.
Yeah.
Josh Simmons, I think fits here. I understand the injury shit again. Like we constantly bring this up, but like, I think he is good enough to be like that guy for them on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Tooney leaves, which I mean, up until the Super Bowl wasn't great or was good at the tackle position. You lose him, so you need to just instantly replace him with something cheaper, especially because you've got some guys that you're probably gonna need to re-sign in the next few years.
Yeah.
So. That's a good pick. Gray Zabel to the Chiefs.
Gray Zabel. That's fucking hilarious. I should tweet.
All right.
You have the Broncos here.
Yeah, the Broncos.
Really interesting here.
Yeah, it is.
Tyler Warren's off the board, which I think is the Sean Payton pick. If Sean Payton doesn't trade up for either Tyler Warren or Ashton Jeanty, he's gonna have a panic attack.
All right.
Oh.
Matthew Golden.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Matthew Golden.
Ring it off, Mike. Because you're higher on him than I am.
I like Matthew. Like I said, I like him more than Tet. I think his routes are a lot better. I think he had the fastest speed at the combine. I'm pretty sure. Flies. I love his down the field ability.
Yeah.
I think you give Bo Nix a guy that he can just chuck the fucking ball to. I know.
I like him in this offense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you give Bo Nix a guy who's obviously got a very strong arm. You know, he can just let it rip. You've got your physical guy in Cortland Sutton. I mean, yeah, I understand, like you said, with the trade up to get Tyler Warren, possibly. I think Javonte Williams is good, but I feel like he's also at the level where, like, DeAndre Swift is.
Yeah.
So, like, the Bears kind of thing as well, where I took him. But I think Matthew Golden's the pick here for that reason. Just, give Bo Nix another weapon to use. So.
No, I love the pick here. As much as I'm not a big Golden fan, I just think he kind of fits them.
Yeah.
That was a great.
See,
pick.
you can also trade back here as well.
Yeah, but honestly, I wouldn't. I'd stick and pick. Yeah.
No, they got Pickens here.
Yeah. 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 You're right. Oh, Big Mike, you're on it today. You're just killing it. You don't be forgetting shit for shit. All right, so I have the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay, I got 30 minutes.
We'll be done by then for sure. But and I have a lot of opinions on this safety class. And you know what? I'm gonna take Malachi Starks, who I'm admittedly not too high on, but I have him as a plug and play guy who the Raiders need, especially with if they make this Pickens move.
This is also perfect.
Yeah, if they make this Pickens move, you have receiver recovered. You're automatically almost like a contending team, and you want someone.
The division's tough, but yeah.
Yeah, who can be all over the field like Malachi Starks. I think Pete Carroll would like a Malachi Starks a lot as well. Just someone who can be all over the field. I don't think he is outstanding at anything. But I'm not comfortable taking Eamon Wara here. I like Makuba. I like Makuba.
I do like Makuba.
I like Makuba a lot. But at the same time, I'm just thinking, you know what? There is a chance. I'm betting on the ceiling a little bit more with Makuba. Let's take Malachi Starks and let's have him play day one, and let's have a above average safety right away. Then improve my defense along with the nasty line that I have.
Okay, I like it.
All right, Mike, you're on the clock with the Los Angeles Chargers.
I think this is perfect because, you'd think Harbaugh is literally oozing at the fucking seams right now.
Okay.
You know where I'm going. Colston Loveland.
Okay.
This is higher than what I think he'd really go. Mm-hmm. But, value-wise, I think he'd be lower. But Michigan guy, of course. You know, Harbaugh left Michigan 2 years ago. And Loveland just fits that offense. I think he is the weapon that Herbert needs. They need a weapon. I can see Ibuka here as well.
Yeah.
I mean, a receiver is obviously a need. I don't know. I think Colston Loveland fits their offense a lot more, and I think the run blocking will help a lot.
Literally, Harbaugh already recruited him.
Exactly.
Likes him and everything, so we know that. And then also
a year or two.
He's a great pass catching. He's a great route running. He is not a blocking tight end whatsoever, but he's got great routes. A lot of people have him over Warren too.
I do not.
I don't either. But a lot of people really like him. I think he is a great player. All right, so this is interesting, and I'm gonna zag here a little bit. So I have the Green Bay Packers on the clock, and I'm gonna keep feeding the machine. I'm gonna have them taking Kelvin Banks. I think their philosophy is just keep taking offensive linemen and keep throwing them in the machine. And I think they've always had a good offensive line. Yeah. And I think Kelvin Banks is I'm not too high on him at tackle. I think he'd be a great guard. And I think he's a serviceable NFL tackle. I think you could throw him all over the line. And I think the Packers like having guys like that.
Yeah, I do too as well. They do. You said they just keep throwing shit. Keep just throwing shit at the wall, and maybe one hits. I do like Kelvin Banks, maybe a little lower, because we're both not really high on him, but this makes sense for them. This is kind of an issue for them last year, and I think
so. The Chiefs took him, but no. But Gray Zabel is an option here,
Yeah.
as well. But he lacks the diversity that Kelvin Banks does. That I think the Packers really like.
All right.
I think Gray Zabel is a better guard and maybe a better offensive lineman if you throw him in. And I think they want a guy that can play 5 positions.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, great! And then look, Gray Zabel's back. All right. And, okay. Edit. All right, we're back. So we that was funny. All right. Internet went out, so I had to redo the mock, but we're back, baby.
Right.
So Mike is on the clock with the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm. And I've got. Just not gonna think of it.
Okay, so
Warrior to the
Nick Warrior.
Yeah, I think he's the. There's the toss up. I think him and Starks are the 2 best safeties in this class. I do like Makuba as well. He's close in there as well. But I think give them the guy that's over the top. Lets you just big lengthy guy. I like him a lot. There's not a lot of spots on the offense that I'm scared of for them. So their defense is really just kind of where I'm polish their defense off a little bit, and I think it's elite.
He scares the fuck out of me as if I'm a GM, but I think Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has some leeway with all the strings that he's been pulling. Yeah. I like giving him to Flores. He is low ceiling, low floor, high ceiling. He could be horrible, and he could be one of the best safeties we've ever seen. Yeah. Broke the RAS scale and all that shit. Yeah, he's great. Throw him in the Flores machine. Nasty fucking player. I love this pick. All right, so I have the Houston Texans picking. And one thing I want to say after I make this pick, but I have them taking Emeka Egbuka.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Emeka Egbuka. Oh, did I take him from you?
No.
Okay, so Emeka Egbuka.
I'm going by the draw, by the way.
Think what?
I said I'm going by what's happening.
Oh, okay, yeah. Really. But he's my receiver 1. If you're I think Travis Hunter's in a thing of his own, and then he's my the guy that plays one position. He blocks his ass off, which I think D'Amico Ryans wants to run. He's a blocking receiver. He is a reliable receiver too. They have Nico Collins. Tank Dell, we don't know what's up with him. And then I think the draft isn't just for what happens year 1. It's why I didn't take offensive line. It's 2 years ahead, 3 years ahead. Yeah. Tank Dell, just projection, probably not going to be there for 2 years, if I had to guess.
If he didn't stay healthy.
Yeah, so get the receiver 2 back. You have Christian Kirk this year, but that's 1 year. They're not going to extend him, I don't think at all.
I hope not.
You want Egbuka and Collins for years to come.
I think he takes over the Diggs route.
Yeah, and I think he is a great receiver. He could be a receiver 1 in my opinion, but
not over Collins.
But not over Collins. But you never know. He's that good. Yeah. I think you can get in later rounds. Offensive linemen. The reason why I had the Chiefs making their trade and the Houston Texans not trading up, they got a bunch of picks for Tunsil. And I think a lot of people are like, "That's trade up ammo." I don't think you would trade up. You would trade Tunsil for trade up ammo. I think they want those picks. I think they're good at later drafting. They got a good cornerback, Lassiter last year. They love those mid round picks. I think Casario is a good evaluator. I think you can get. I think they just need players on the offensive line and with players you can get those in the second round. Yeah. With guards, centers, all that shit.
Yeah, that's always
take Egbuka, not have Stroud have weapons for the rest of his career.
One that he's familiar with too.
Yeah, one that Ohio State receiver.
That would be awesome
yeah.
for him.
So I don't think there is anybody that makes a difference day 1 for Stroud here anyway on the offensive line, and that's what you would. You
could argue Tyler Booker.
Yeah, but but also I think you could get evaluate right. You get a Tyler Booker replacement in the second round. But yeah, so you're on the clock with the Rams.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I took Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas, which I really like.
They need cornerback help badly.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my favorite corners. Really fucking like.
I love Azariah Thomas. He's a guy that you can throw on an island. He can shut down. I think he has potential to be the guy that shuts down your number 1. I think if he if he is as good as I think he is, this is, I mean, just perfect for the Rams defense.
He's a big, lengthy guy. You know, he kind of fits the Pat Surtain kind of archetype again, like I said earlier with Will Johnson. I like him. He's sticky. His hands have been kind of like he gets a little handsy a little bit. It's kind of an issue, especially in the NFL. But also, sometimes you don't have to touch anybody and they call shit on you. But anyway, I think this is the perfect pick for them. Obviously, there's other routes they can go. Like the run defense has been it was bad last year. They kind of addressed it a little bit with Poona Ford coming now. But like I think corner's their biggest need now, and I think there's like the toss up. I was in between him, Hairston, and Amos, but I like him the most. So
the Amos. All right, so I this is actually pretty good. I like the way this shook out for the Ravens. I have the Ravens here taking Tyler Booker,
that fits you.
who is an interior offensive lineman. They lost one, I forget his name this year, and then they kept Ronnie Stanley. And you're gonna wanna.
What's his name?
I know, they're gonna want to replace him eventually. I don't think Tyler Booker's the guy that will go outside. But either way, you just want to keep feeding the machine. I think a lot of these guys, like these teams that are on the top, is like they keep their quarterback protected. Lamar Jackson, Macari, yeah. So I think Booker is just as simple as like a plug and play. Right there and at guard. I don't think there's too much to say on this one.
No,
just plug and play. Let's go. Next guy,
Yeah.
All right, so Mike, you're on the board with the Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm. I took James Pierce.
Yeah, there we go.
James Pierce is the pick. I think, you have obviously your cornerstone, probably he's your best player.
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson, but the other side was like, especially when he was out.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much you can rely on his health.
We had them taking Nolan last draft, and
that's where I was in between.
And that's what I ended up taking and when I had them. But I think you already have Aleem McNeil. Nolan does have pass rushing upside, but James Pierce wasn't available in the last one we did, and you want an edge. They ideally want an edge across from Hutchinson to replace anyone with injury. You just want to feed the machine on the defensive line. I like James Pierce here a lot. I think this is a great pick. Oh, and this left me with a really easy choice to make. So I have the Washington Commanders. I think they would probably be looking to trade down here. My thing is, I don't think there's too many teams that would want to trade up here, especially since we have Shedeur being taken.
See, I was going to say, this is where I was like, the Giants.
Yeah, I think because they need to acquire more picks. They don't have too many picks after the thing, and they just need a lot of defensive players. And I'm gonna have them take Walter Nolan. They got Jason Newton last year, and they traded away Allen and but yeah, just throw Nolan, who can play inside and out, has inside and out versatility. I really like Nolan here. Just let's make the defense better.
Yeah, I like this as well. I think that was a big issue, especially in that NFC Championship game where they kind of just got fucking ran through.
Yeah.
In general, ran through on the. Yeah. I'm not even. Yeah.
It was a sexual innuendo.
No, yeah, it's fucking what happened.
Yeah, they had sex, and yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
But yeah, I like Walter Nolan to the Commanders.
Okay.
Mike is on the clock with the Buffalo Bills. Oh, he knew that's a man that knows what he wants.
I fucking knew it. Derek Harmon.
Ooh, I like this.
I took.
No, yeah, I'm sorry, my bad.
I think that was an issue all season with them. They have good pass rushers. I don't think that's a problem there. I think you could maybe argue some maybe. Not their offensive line. Their offensive line's fantastic. Mm-hmm. The receivers are good enough to be able to Josh Allen can do what he can do. So I think defensive tackle is probably the move here. I can argue maybe corner because Kyrie Lamb's been fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But I like this.
He's not on the team anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I so I'm not too high on Harmon, but I just think a guy in the just throw a guy in the machine.
See, this is where I was here.
Yeah. So I think
I was going Nolan.
So I think Harmon there is I have a second round grade on him, late second round grade. But I think if you want to take an interior defensive lineman, I think he's a good guy that can clog up the middle. It has pass rush potential. So I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here that we had after the trade, and I think the board just worked out perfectly for them. So I have them taking Donovan Izaraku. I don't know if I said that correctly, but he is a Jesus.
This thing does not want to work.
Please. You're
good. You take him.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck he went though. Oh, it took him already. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Donovan Uzaraku, he is I think the guy that they probably wanted it at that pick, and I had him trading down anyway. Boston College edge rusher. I think the Packers are potential to take him here because his head coach at Boston College was the defensive coordinator. Is the defensive coordinator for the Packers, but I had them addressing another need. I think this is a guy that has a high ceiling as well, like all these edge rushers, and then just get a spark plug there.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, like you said, with the chemistry fit with him and the DC,
Yeah,
I think that works. Again, they just need edge rushers. I think I had them taking Mike Green last year, or the last mock draft.
yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I took Mike
and
Green.
he wasn't available. That's why I traded back here.
Yeah. All right. And with the final pick in the first round.
Mike has his Philadelphia Eagles.
Fuck the Eagles. Don't do that to me. Fuck it.
Okay, I like this. So
This is where actually Gray Zable's going.
Yeah, so Big Mike took Gray Zabel here. Like I've banged the table on feeding the machine. I like it. I think, I think that's an A.
I took it because I think like they love to just stack up offensive linemen, and they've been very good at fucking developing them apparently.
Yeah.
So,
and they took they have Kenyon Green this year. Lost Mekhi Becton, so I think Kenyon Green is like, you bet on yourself with that, but at the same time,
what the fuck I don't like.
Oh, sick. You bet on yourself, but let's develop Gray Zabel as well, just in case Kenyon Green fucking sucks.
Who wasn't even very
hasn't
good
been that
last year.
good lately. So I like this pick a lot.
All right.
All right, Big Mike. That was the Left Bench 2025 NFL Mock Draft 2.0. Let us know how you're feeling, everyone. Thank you. Me and Big Mike say thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Have a good
subscribe.
night. Like, subscribe. How's your sister doing?
All right.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much. That is the episode.